Welcome back to the deep dive. You hand us the sources, we hand you instant expertise.
hmm
Today we're putting on our analytical caps to look at a really specific niche, the digital tools people use to analyze games of pure chance.
Yeah, and we are diving into a very particular piece of software. It takes all the raw, chaotic data from Roulette wheel and, well, tries to make sense of it.
Tries to impose some kind of structure.
That's the perfect way to put it. Our mission today is to take a look at these product descriptions, some screenshots, promotional stuff, for a tool called WheelPulse PRO.
Okay.
And we're going to dissect not just what it does, but really why a tool like this even exists. We want to understand how software like this tries to frame the study of probability and maybe even anomalies.
All in a completely risk-free environment. That's the key.
That is the key,
And just so you know what we're looking at, the tool is RealPulse PRO. It's made by a group called STYW.
which stands for Spin Till You Win.
Of course it does. And you can find all the source material over at www.wheelpulsepro.com. So let's unpack this central promise because they're really careful not to call it a betting tool.
Oh, absolutely not. That distinction is crucial. It's marketed explicitly as an educational tool.
For what, though? For analyzing patterns.
Pattern strategies, yeah. The core message we saw again and again is that you can, and I'm quoting here, sharpen your understanding of the game, all without gambling.
So what they're offering is basically a really sophisticated simulator, an analysis engine.
Exactly. It's designed to let you test your own hypotheses against what the game has done historically.
Which speaks directly to that learner persona, someone who wants to master the mechanics, spot theoretical trends.
Before $1 on the table.
Right. But to get the full tool set, there's a subscription.
There is. It runs about 7.99 Canadian dollars a month.
Okay, so that brings up the question, why subscribe? I mean, why not just use a spreadsheet?
That's a great question. And the promotional material kind of gives us the answer. The free version gives you the core features, sure, but it limits your usage.
Oh, it has quotas.
Exactly. We saw one source that mentioned a cap of just 36 spins per session.
There's nothing.
It's nothing if you're trying to spot long-term trends. So the value of paying is really about getting access to high-volume data, tracking things over hundreds or thousands of spins, which you just couldn't do by hand.
So the tool is basically making that whole process of pattern hunting, well, effortless.
That's the idea. And it ties right back to that educational claim because the subscription isn't just for the software.
There's more to it.
Yeah, it comes bundled with direct instruction. You get access to these exclusive video guides from STYW.
The leading authority in roulette strategy, as they call themselves.
That's the one. So it's a dual offering, really. You get the software to structure the data, and then you get the videos to give you the analytical context. They're trying to marry the tech with the methodology.
Okay, so let's step into the engine room then. The SpinTrend Radar. This is where the magic is supposed to happen, right? Turning raw data into something useful.
Into actionable insights, yeah. This radar is designed to give you real-time feedback on the spins. It tracks streaks, it says what's hot or cold, it even flags potential biases.
It's the visual dashboard for chasing that non-randomness.
And what's fascinating is how quickly it can spot things that would take a human hours. We saw this one screenshot, a summary after only 12 spins.
12 spins.
And the quick trends analysis immediately flagged that even dominates with 66.7% hits.
Okay, that's interesting. But what really jumped out at me was the streak recognition. It wasn't just saying even is ahead.
No, it was way more specific.
It flagged, and I'm looking at it right here, second column on a 5-spin streak.
Yes.
In a game that's supposed to be random, calling out a 5-hit streak in one specific third of the board. I mean, that feels like the software is just feeding that human desire to find order in chaos.
That is the absolute core of the psychological appeal. The software is brilliant at reporting what you could call local non-randomness.
What's happened in the last 10 minutes?
Exactly. Even if the very next spin is still, globally random. And it puts those alerts right there for you. We saw 3 evens in a row, 3 highs in a row.
And for anyone listening who isn't deep in the jargon, when we say even money bets, we're talking about those simple outside bets.
The ones that are close to 50-50.
Right. Red or black, even or odd, low numbers versus high numbers. And the radar summarizes all of it.
It does. It gives you a running count for red, black, even, odd, all of it. And it even reports on repeat numbers. So if the number 17 has come up twice recently, it tells you.
It also tracks the dozens, which are those 3 big blocks of 12 numbers.
Right, which have a 2-to-1 payout. So by tracking all of this, it's giving you this incredibly structured analysis on almost every major way you can bet all at once.
But it's not just the numbers. The visualization is obviously key here. It shows you which numbers are hot, so hitting a lot, and which are cold, the ones that feel overdue.
Hmm.
But here's where it got really interesting for me. The tool tracks physical wheel sections, left side, right side, and 0 hits.
Yeah, that's a big claim.
It is. What's the point of analyzing physical sections of the wheel if you're not actually sitting there, watching the dealer?
Well, that's the high-level theory the software is selling. By grouping numbers based on where they physically are on the wheel, the implication is that it can help you spot potential dealer biases.
Like a dealer who always releases the ball from the same spot.
Or even a mechanical flaw in the wheel itself. It's suggesting it can train you in not just statistics, but in spotting real-world physical patterns, or at least the data that reflects them. That goes way beyond a simple odds calculator.
Okay, so that completely shifts the goal. It goes from just observing to actually applying a theory. And that brings us to where the user really gets control, customization. The power isn't just watching the streaks happen, it's telling the system exactly what you want to look for. It's targeted hypothesis testing.
Absolutely. The tool lets users set these incredibly detailed custom alerts. They're tailored specifically for things like dozens or the even money bets. It's the mechanism for a user to go in and try to prove their own pet theories.
And you can see just how granular it gets. The interface lets you define the whole thing. For example, you can tell it to track, say, the last 5 spins, and then set an alert if there are 3 consecutive hits on the first dozen. And we even saw the alert it generates.
It spits out a little notification.
Yeah, it says first dozen has hit 3 times consecutively. Spins 1, 3, 1.
What's so interesting there is that the software is it's confirming a very common, if short, anomaly. It also lets you set alerts for sequence matching.
So you could program it to look for, 7 red, then 14 black, then 2 black.
You could, which is the ultimate goal for anyone who's hunting for predictability.
But this does bring up a skeptical question, right? If you program an alert to catch 3 hits in a row and it goes off, doesn't that just prove that the system is random, but that random systems have streaks?
That's the million-dollar question.
I mean, does the source material suggest that this tool can actually find predictive elements? Or is it just really good at reporting on what already happened?
The sources are careful. They mostly talk about refining your analysis, not guaranteeing predictions. They frame it as a way to study wheel behavior. But yeah, the subtext is definitely there. If you can spot those dealer biases we talked about.
Then you've moved from an academic exercise to something else.
Potentially.
Huh.
The advanced tools are all about that. Deeper diagnostics to detect bias, and they even let you input hypothetical casino data.
Oh, that's smart. So you can run controlled experiments.
Right. Refine your strategies without waiting for a real-world streak to happen. You can explore trends under perfect controlled conditions.
And this all leads directly into the strategy exploration part of the tool.
Which is really the application layer. The sources show this huge menu of strategies you can study. It's not just one system, it's like a whole theoretical library.
You can analyze pretty much everything. Column strategies, dozen strategies.
All the way down to split and street strategies, which cover tiny groups of numbers on the board.
It really does cover nearly every conventional betting system you could think of, like corner and neighbors bets.
Yeah.
But it's not just listing them, it actually synthesizes the data to offer recommendations.
Exactly. It offers theoretical strategy recommendations based on what's currently hot.
We saw an example of that, didn't we?
We did. The tool spit out a list of the best even money bets. Top 3, the recommendation was 1, even, 8, 2, black, 6, and 3, high, 6.
So the software is trying to translate that trend spotting into an actual suggestion. It's saying, look, based on the recent past, this is what's dominant. But wait, if even has 8 hits and odd has, 4, is the recommendation to bet on even because it's hot? Or should you bet on odd because it's due? The software is giving historical data, not
a crystal ball.
Yeah.
And that leads to maybe the most practically useful feature of all, bankroll management.
Right. This is valuable no matter what you believe about patterns.
Absolutely. The tool has a bankroll simulation, so you can plug in specific betting progressions, something like the martingale system, for example.
Ah, the martingale. For anyone who doesn't know, that's the infamous one where you double your bet after every loss.
The very same. The idea being that when you finally win, you get it all back plus a little profit.
A dangerous game.
A very dangerous game. And this tool lets you see why. It shows you how a high-risk system like that would theoretically destroy your bankroll over time. or how other smaller systems might hold up.
It turns that abstract risk into something you can see and quantify.
It does, all while keeping the process completely risk-free.
So if we boil it all down, WheelPulse PRO is essentially a powerful digital microscope for the game's dynamics.
A great analogy.
It's like those old school players you'd see with their little notebooks and pencils, but, supercharged. It lets a learner test ideas and see complex streaks, like that 5-spin column streak.
Which you would absolutely miss in the heat of a live game.
You would. The software is just a perfect example of the human brain trying to impose order on what should be pure chance.
It quantifies those little pockets of non-randomness that pop up inside the bigger random system.
And connecting that back to you, the learner, the real value here seems to be transforming all that raw, overwhelming data into structured, theoretical knowledge.
It gives you a framework. A way to analyze why a streak might be happening and to track how often these so-called anomalies actually occur. It's structure for perceived chaos.
And that structure is the real product.
I think so.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to chew on. If a tool can systematically track wheel biases and long-term trends with this level of detail, what does that imply about the line between studying game dynamics and the fundamental inherent randomness of the next spin? Does this level of analysis genuinely unlock a different, less random way of seeing probability? Or is it just the most sophisticated confirmation yet that even wild-looking streaks are just part of the statistics of chance?
A good question to think about.
That's your deep dive for today.
All right, let's talk about roulette. It's this total paradox, right? It's supposed to be a game of pure, unadulterated chance. And yet, for literally centuries, people have been absolutely convinced there are patterns hidden in the spin. So today, we're going to look at a tool that actually tries to help you make some sense of all that beautiful chaos. I mean, think about it. Every single spin is its own little world, right? It's just a moment of pure chaotic physics. The ball rattles and clatters, the wheel is just a blur, and the number that comes up is supposed to be completely random. But is it really? That's the million-dollar question. And look, that's the biggest challenge for anyone who really gets into this game. It's like, how do you find the signal in all that noise? Are you really seeing a pattern emerge? Or is your brain just, playing tricks on you, trying to make sense of something that's totally random? It's tough. So what if you had a tool that could actually visualize all that chaos for you? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're talking about WheelPulse PRO. It's a piece of software that's designed to help you analyze the game in a completely new light. Okay, but let's get one thing straight right off the bat. This is not about betting. I want to be super clear on that. WheelPulse PRO is an educational tool. 100%. Think of it like a digital sandbox. It's a place where you can mess around, explore strategies, analyze patterns, all without ever putting a single penny on the line. It's all about learning, completely risk-free. All right, so how does this thing actually work? Well, at its core, WheelPulse PRO is all about visualization. It's basically giving you this real-time, data-driven lens to see the game in a way you probably haven't before. Okay, check this out. This is your main dashboard. The real star of the show here is what they call the SpinTrend Radar. Just think of it as your command center. It gives you this incredible at-a-glance summary of everything that's happening. Which numbers are running hot, which ones have gone cold, and what kind of streaks are starting to pop up. And you can see here, it gives you the data in two main ways, which is pretty smart. Over on the left, you've got the raw statistical summaries, perfect for all you number crunchers out there. And on the right, it's way more visual. You get a display of the actual wheel showing you which sections are, heating up. So it kind of caters to whatever your personal style is for analysis. So what are we really tracking with this? Well, you're looking at the classic stuff, like hot and cold numbers. That idea that some numbers seem to pop up more often in the short term. But it goes deeper. You're also tracking streaks in bigger sections like dozens and columns, and you can even look for those really long-term biases that might, just might, point to an imperfect wheel. But look, this is way more than just passively watching numbers come up. The real power of this tool, where it gets super interesting, is when you start to customize your own analysis. This is where you get to be the one in the driver's seat. You can start asking your own what-if questions. You can literally create your own custom triggers to ping you when a specific sequence happens. Like, say you're really interested in knowing when the first dozen hits 3 times in a row? No problem. You just set an alert for that exact scenario. And bam, this is what you get. A nice, clear, direct alert telling you that the pattern you were looking for just happened. See what that does? It totally shifts you from just being a passive observer to being an active analyst, actively hunting for the sequences that matter to you. Now, for those of you who really want to go deep and analyze things over the long term, there's the dealer spin tracker. This is pretty cool. This is where you can start looking for those really deep-seated biases. Things like, does a certain dealer have a kind of signature spin that seems to favor one part of the wheel? Or is the wheel itself maybe just a tiny bit unbalanced? This is the tool you'd use for that kind of serious, in-depth analysis. But maybe the most important thing about all of this is that it's a totally safe place to learn. It really is a true strategy sandbox. So here's how that learning loop works. It's simple, really. First, you feed it data. You can either put in your own or just have it generate random spins. Step 2, you simulate different betting systems, like the martingale, Fibonacci, whatever you want to test. Then you get to analyze how that system would have impacted a theoretical bankroll. And finally, you refine your approach based on what you saw. You analyze, you tweak, and you learn. And the whole time, there is zero financial risk. It's fantastic. Oh, and there's more. The tool also comes with exclusive video guides from Spin Till You Win, which is awesome. They give you a bunch of techniques and insights to really help you sharpen your analysis skills. So, if this sounds like the kind of tool you've been looking for to maybe deepen your understanding of the game, well, getting started is super straightforward. Okay, so there are basically 2 options. You've got the free version, which gives you all the core analysis features. And honestly, it's a fantastic place to start. Then there's the Pro subscription. That's what unlocks all the really advanced tools, like those custom alerts and triggers we were just looking at. Plus, you get all the exclusive content. And the price for that Pro subscription is just $7.99 Canadian dollars a month. You can check everything out for yourself and get started right on their website. It's WheelPulsePro.com. So I guess that leaves us with one final question, right? With a tool that lets you visualize the game in this much detail, what do you think you'll find? Will you be the one to discover some hidden, elusive pattern? Or will you just end up proving that it's all just beautiful, random chaos after all? I guess the only way to find out is to start looking.